All right, at this time, this is going to be basically where we're celebrating a particular department of our county that has been historically kind of pushed off in the weeds. Those weeds that nobody cut down because we didn't have enough people to tell them to. And today, it does my heart good to see this new vibrant force that is got one of the toughest jobs. And the reason it does, and this is basically the reason why we're doing this, is Code Enforcement Appreciation Week. And it's a tough job. If we don't have code enforcement, we have a lot of different neighborhoods go in disrepair. You know, somebody might have rats climbing over this. You know, I mean, it's just terrible, and you have no one to turn to. These men and women have to go out there. And again, what I like about this group, and I know we're going to have exceptions, I know we're going to have stories to the contrary, but as a general rule, this group goes out and does a very difficult job and tries to make it the best and work with people. Because remember, at the end of the day, we all serve our constituents anyway. And this is all about really, I'm going to tell you, respecting the people that have that hard job and keeping not only good morale, because that in turn makes you do a better job, but it's also on dealing with all the specific groups that we have, including the Cannabis Task Force, the TIRE team, and the SET team, or Special Enforcement Team. So, and we have our 4 district teams too. So at this point, I would like to have our director, Bob McGee, come up with everybody else. If you guys can come up here and stand on the stage. If we get any bigger, we're going to have to get a bigger boat, but come on up. On up here. Everybody just probably have, oh, hey, let's see. That's, well, this almost looks like RCTC. Come on up, come on up. Yeah, come on up. Let's go. Okay, basically, what everybody knows, they can get away with anything right now in the county because everybody's here. So anyway, I'm going to turn this over to Director Bob McGee, and he's got a few words. And but again, I appreciate everything you guys are doing. It's great to see us get back to at least close to full force, and I know it's making a big difference in my district, along with all the different districts. So here you go.
Thank you very much, Chairman Hewitt and members of the board. Not everybody is here. Just those who are not serving a warrant, working on a multi-agency operation, or answering the phones, or doing a scheduled inspection. But I wanted to make sure that everyone got to meet different members of different teams throughout code enforcement. We do have a hard job. But over the last 2 years, this board has supported us and has provided us with the tools and the resources that we need to do our job, and so that we can fulfill our mission, and that is to keep communities safe and continue to improve the quality of life for the residents of Riverside County. So thank you for recognizing us today.
And thank you. And Bob, there's a whole lot of whereases, but I'm not going to read them because I think it's more important that I give my colleagues just a chance to say a few words about what it means to them. So here we go, Karen.
I'm not sure thank you is enough. You guys face some difficult situations. You've got people who are upset. You've got people who don't understand. I mean, it made clear today is that sometimes it's not clear. And if it's not clear, it puts you in the bad spot of trying to explain why it's not legal or you need to change. But we thank you for that. We can always learn, we can always grow. You guys are getting larger, that's good. A county with 73,000 square miles and 2.5 million people, there's not quite many of you, right? So your efforts are appreciated, and I know that we are going to get better. We're going to reach out. I know that many of you have always talked about having those relationships with your constituents that you service. And those things are what goes a long time and far well. So thank you for what you do.
Just want to echo the same sentiment as my colleagues here and really appreciate all the work that you've done and will continue to do for the 4th District and the rest of the county of Riverside. And coming from the area that's the largest geographic area, you all know what that's like. It's a pretty difficult job to handle, but I know you're going to continue doing great work, and I really thank you for it.
Thanks to our code enforcement department and to its leadership. Bob, you know, you mentioned, the chairman mentioned the different teams we have within code. And I was reminded that in the military, they have what's called a Tiger team that has a special mission. But I think your Tiger team only functions in one district, is that correct? Where the only district where there's tigers that are not permitted. So thank you for that, amongst the many other efforts. It's a tough job. Much like law enforcement, they have to enforce the law. They pull someone over for speeding and write them a ticket. They don't like it. I get that. When you guys have to enforce the law and ordinances that this board has passed, you do that without bias or favor. Because if you didn't do that, if you did something else, picked friends to not enforce, then we become kind of a corrupt government. And we want to support what you do, and you do it well, you do it professionally, and you do it without, again, bias or favor. So thank you for that integrity that you show day in and day out, and your leadership.
I don't have much to say. Been through 3 or 4 code directors, a whole bunch of different staff. Really appreciate the team that's been assembled. For those of you giving 110%, I truly appreciate your efforts. And I appreciate it when you show compassion to the residents out there that need to be given a guided, helping hand to get in compliance. And I appreciate it when you remain firm for those who ignore the rules of the neighborhood and trying to keep a neighborhood clean and sanitary so that it's not overrun with trash and debris. I appreciate that effort as well. So just thank you for all that you're doing and keep up the good work.
And one thing I want to reiterate, especially with all the things that are going on today, this group of people have one job, and that's to carry out and follow the rules that this body set for them. Remember, and again, I think Supervisor Jeffries hit on the fact that showing that compassion is very important, but being firm when we need to is also very important. But listen, hey, don't shoot the messenger. Remember that. I mean, when there are coming here and saying what's wrong and changing that up here, that's the way we do things. But this group, I'm so proud to say that they're Riverside County, and we got enough pictures now. Can we get it all in one? Yeah, let's take one back. Okay, it's going to be, yeah. Thank you, and congratulations, guys. All right, guys. You guys are dismissed. Awesome. And you can stay here longer if you want, but I understand. No, just.